Content warning, y'all. We have lots of fun making this podcast, but remember, we watch a lot of R-rated films, use language that reflects that, and joke about heavy topics to create levity around these themes. If that doesn't feel safe or could be triggering, please take care of yourself. We want you to have fun listening too. This also means we might not be suitable for children. Oh yeah, and we spoil the end of all the movies we pod about. Thanks for listening.
Is that a boy or a girl?
The young lambs crying through the frost. And the blessed church bells that send my voices to me on the wind.
It's a girl. Joan of Arc.
I feel like with this hat on, I look like Dave Thomas in Strange Brew, which I don't expect you, is a reference I don't expect you to get.
I'm going to Google it.
Do it.
Dave Thomas in Strange Brew. That sounds like Dave Thomas. Who the fuck is Dave Thomas?
Well, not the founder of Wendy's,
Okay, that's what I was. Okay.
but Dave Thomas, who played Mr. F.
Strange. What is it?
Brew.
Strange Brew. Okay.
Also starring Rick Moranis. They're both SCTV alum.
Just the face. Like,
Yeah, that's the part I mean.
that he's
The
making,
face.
like, in this still of it.
We should watch that. That is a wacky ass movie.
Yeah, I should, yeah. This is a reminder to use a still of this for the Instagram post. And do something funny with it, Z.
Do something.
So if
Put
you're,
it on that cat.
so that's a good segue. If you are listening to this episode, go check out our Instagram to see what fun thing I did. I don't even know what it is yet, but I did something amazing and it's hilarious and you're going to fucking lose your shit. Instagram.com/ZNKpod. Similar to our TikTok and Instagram, TikTok.com/ZNKpod or /@ZNKpod. Or just look up ZNKpod if you're on the app.
Oh, we should probably do a link tree, hey?
I have a link tree on our. If you go to our Instagram, we have a link tree. If you go to our Twitter, which is twitter.com/ZNKpod, you can also access our link tree.
Linktree.ZNKpod.
It's like link.
Slash.
Yeah, it's link
Dot.
or yeah, I don't know how to. Anyway, but yeah, it's ZNKpod. Our link tree.
KO.FI.
Our on Linktree is ZNKpod, and we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/
You can patronize us
yeah /ZNKpod. So yeah, check us out on all
for
those.
the low price of $1.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna love it. I guarantee. Also, please go follow our Instagram. I swear to God.
Oh yeah.
I make amazing content on there. Keith will for sure post sometimes, but I'm mainly
Very rarely.
Yeah, but I'm mainly the one. So everything funny
Usually
that
just when
happens on
somebody
there.
dies.
Yeah. But like you've taken over. Like when I mistakenly had a job over the summer, you took over the reins and you were like, "This is the
When I
worst."
slipped and got to work.
when I messed up, when I fucked up real bad and said I can do
That was a rough couple weeks.
It was a rough couple weeks, but I'll tell you what, it pushed me to be like, you know what? I do need to get tested for autism. It was the final straw. Oh, that's going great, by the way. Yeah, don't ask me about it.
I just mugged to the camera.
Yeah.
For the listeners at
Yeah,
home.
it's terrible. It's gone terrible, and it's also been paused and probably going to have to be restarted because of all the issues that I've had going in.
None of which are Omicron.
Yeah, none of which are Omicron. Just having really awful experiences with a doctor that.
Although the last appointment
Yeah.
you had
Oh my
was
God.
the Monday following Christmas.
Yeah, it was the 27th
And
of December, 2021.
yeah, next door to the building you were in was a testing site, a drive-up testing site.
Yeah.
And the whole hour and 15 minutes that you were in your appointment,
Yeah.
the lines wrapped around the entire parking lot and out into the street, and they kept having they had a security guy come out and like was managing the lines so that they were like not stopping traffic.
Yeah, I've heard that there's no like testing that's like under half an hour, like a half an hour wait. Like you don't, you don't get like like there's like no.
I thought most of the tests you just get texted the results. You don't like
no to get to the to actually get tested. There is at least a half an hour
like
wait
in the queue.
Correct. Gotcha. Yes. Like, you're not going to be able to just go and get tested. You have to wait. And, like, yeah. Also, imagine... Whatever. I don't want to talk about...
I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's just... It's fine that we bring it up. I don't mind that. It's just, like, I'll never shut up about it is what I mean. Yeah. And you don't have to
I feel you.
You don't have to cut any of this out. But we're never going to talk about it again.
My stomach is...
Your tum-tum?
Making so much noise.
Oh, is it the sourdough that you edited?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the sourdough that did it.
Well, what else could it be?
I don't know. Pooping twice. Having had a lot of coffee. Anyway, hello, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for joining our Patreon, as
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Thank you for following us on social media. We have 5 Twitter followers. Y'all, please go to our Twitter. I know you have it. Go follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/ZNKpod. If you're like, I'm never on Twitter, doesn't matter.
Correct.
None
None of this matters. Just do it. It matters to us.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't have to engage.
Yeah. I mean, it's great if you do, but you don't have to. Just go follow us.
It's like review the pod on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. But here's how to review. This is if you're like, I don't know what to say. Fine. Here, I'll tell you what to say. 5 stars. Cool.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Enter.
Loved it, or cool, or they're funny, or I didn't understand it. 5 stars.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch the movie. 5 stars.
It doesn't matter what the review says, but give it 5 stars. Yeah.
Link us to your podcast.
I will
on the
never
review.
listen
I don't
to
give
this. 5 stars.
Right. 5 stars. Here's my podcast. Please listen.
Promoted on.
Just do this. We need to make money. We've been doing this a year. We need something from it.
That'd be great.
I mean, they do say that when you start a business, like, you don't actually start making money for like the first couple of years. So I guess that's all this is.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 years of having a Patreon, my own Patreon, for me to get more than like 5 followers.
Oh, all right. Well,
and now I have 27 patrons.
Wow.
Yeah. If you're listening and you're one of my patrons, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're talking about...
So the movie we're talking The Legend of Billie Jean.
1985.
Is it good?
What?
It's
The Legend of Billie Jean. Billie Jean.
It came out in 1985, which was a pretty good year.
I get it.
Because I was born in that year.
I get it.
Oh, I didn't look about.
I was born.
When? I didn't look when it came
what time of
out.
year?
Yeah. So.
Directed by Matthew Robbins, who has very few directing credits. The other most notable one, I would say, is Batteries Not Included.
Yeah.
He did a Paul McCartney video in 1993.
Mm.
An episode of Amazing Stories. And a movie called Dragon Slayer from 1981, which I feel like I need to watch. And Corvette Summer, 1978.
This movie premiered on the day that Bunny was born.
Happy birthday, Bunny. Happy bunny birthday.
Happy birthday, Pepe.
So what is that, June something?
July 19th.
What month?
July. What?
July is how it sounded.
July 19th, 1985.
Why are you doxing Bunny right now?
Here's their address.
I'm not going to give you my social.
Doxing.
Why did we pick this?
Why
I don't
did-
remember.
You were the one that picked this.
Okay.
You were like, "Oh, I want to. Yeah, I want to watch." You've been saying you want to watch it for a long time, and I wanted to watch it, but I haven't been. I don't know. I get weird about but we picked out. We did our what are we gonna watch in advance, and having for whatever reason being like, here's what we're gonna watch in advance is so much easier to pick. To narrow down movies than being like, what do you want to watch tonight?
Yeah.
I'm like,
right, because it's the old. If you're old enough or whatever, it's not just age, but if you're someone who had the experience of going to a video rental store without knowing what you wanted to watch,
spend hours and nothing's right.
It's the worst. It's the shopping while hungry thing. Well, no, it's the opposite of that.
Grocery shopping hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said shopping mall hungry.
Shopping while.
Oh. I was like,
hungry for shopping malls.
I was like, just go to Food Guard. I don't. Yeah.
Anyway.
It was, well, I feel like if it's like, what do you want to watch tonight? Then I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm in the mood for. And then we have to figure out what we're both in the mood for. But if we're like, in 2 weeks, we're watching this movie, then we both emotionally plan for it ahead of time. So we're in a space to watch it. Oh, man. Why do I think I'm autistic? I'm curious.
I first watched this movie. I can't give you a time, and also that's not important, but it was like 15 years ago, probably. My friend Alex would say he likes to show this as a double feature with Over the Edge, which because of that I pitched that we watch, but it didn't make the cut. It's like from 1978 or 79 or something.
Can't do it.
But it's another film that's about like kids fighting back.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
It might be better in a way. I remember being more. I was like, oh shit, and I think it's maybe based on true events or something.
Oh, right on.
That's the one where that involves a scene. The climax of the movie involves all the parents getting together in like the gym of the high school and all the kids locking them in and lighting the building on fire.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is that the? Yeah.
It's got a baby Matt Dillon in it.
Okay.
I think
that's a reason not to watch it. No offense.
He's fine.
No offense, Matt Dillon. Yeah, but he's like Tim Robbins for me. It's like if he's in something, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so boring.
Well, but he's playing a teenager, so it fits.
No, but I mean like bored. Like that's the thing. I don't have anything against them. I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna get so bored watching this. No offense to y'all.
I want to acknowledge that Z physically prevented me from watching Saint Joan from 1957, which this movie refers to.
Because last night, like we watched.
I could be watching it right now, but no, we're doing this instead.
Yeah. Because here's what we do on Friday nights. This is generally, unless something stops us or whatever. On Friday night, we watch a movie for the podcast. And on Saturday morning, we record for the podcast. And after when the movie is like done, credits are rolling, he said, now I'm going to have to watch a Joan of Arc movie before we record. And I was like, no, what? And he was like, you don't have to watch it. And I was like, no, that's...
Physically restrained me.
Like, no, please.
Plucked my eyes out.
No, it just because it's like...
Cut my hair. Robbed me of my...
Have you never heard of Joan of Arc or like watched
Oh,
it?
I'm pretty sure I've even watched it, but...
Okay.
It's referred to so many times in this movie that,
Is it? I thought they just made one reference to it.
There's a few. Also, the very end where... Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Also, it's Gene Seberg, not... I was thinking it was Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, I was like... You were like, who's it? The place... I was like, I don't know. And you were like, is it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with the movie.
Oh.
never seen it. This is actually when you first pitched the idea of this movie, I was like, a bunch of kids in the 80s. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be boring.
It's funny because I would have guessed that would have been.
And then, well, just this is gonna sound rude, but the way you described it, I was like, ooh.
It's just the fact that I pitched it.
Yeah, and I thought it was like a completely different film or whatever. And then when you showed me the trailer, or you told me, I think it was like you told me Yardley Smith was in it. And I was like, oh, is that the movie where she's like, when do I get my diaphragm? And you were like, I don't know. And I was like, I've seen that. I want to watch it. Because here's the thing. I've been like, I saw this movie probably as a teenager on TV.
Oh, okay.
And I've been like, what the fuck movie was that? And then and I was like, oh my god, yes, I want to watch that. Of course I want to watch that. And so like I had not understood what kind of movie it actually was until you like showed me stills of it or something. And I was like, oh, I was not understanding. I think
you were thinking of a specific other movie?
Yeah, I think it was movie? Like I thought it was like a Michael Jackson movie or something. Cuz he like, right? Doesn't he? I don't know. Here's the thing. I did not grow up listening to Michael Jackson. So, and like, if no like connection to Michael Jackson music, because I didn't grow up listening, and that's not me like condemning people that did or whatever. It's just like, I don't have any connection to his music because I did.
I got Thriller for my 8th birthday. It was the best
I did
present.
Listen to Thriller, and I used to like striptease to it or something like that as a kid. I don't remember this, but like, I used to striptease a lot to MTV videos as a little kid.
Rock the Cradle.
Yeah, no, that one. I used to take my shirt off and swing it around my head to Who Rock the Cradle of Love.
Who Rock? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Isn't that what it says? Who Rock the Cradle of Love.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is this what you mean? Never remember. It's always, I gotta push every button.
Push. I gotta push every button. I don't know why. I'm sorry. So
my pants got really warm when you said that.
I would like to bring something up.
Is it the concept of white habitus? That's what I want to bring.
What?
White habitus.
What is that? Habitus. What is habitus?
I'll talk about it.
Okay. I was gonna bring up, and not to emotionally dox you.
Okay.
But you did say the other night that you wanted to talk about more personal things.
Yeah.
And bring up more stories on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
So
that is a goal I have for season 3.
Yeah.
Starting season 3.
I like you have stories and they're very interesting.
I forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also have it. I have an internal narrative that says I'm not a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is true or untrue. I'm just that's a thing that stops me from.
Gotcha. I just want to tell you, I think I'm an awful storyteller. I think I miss the mark a lot. I know. I'm telling you, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I think. I feel like that like Parks and Recs episode where like John Ralphio like rhymes everything and then he like keeps
at the very end.
Add that's how I feel like I tell stories. I add a little too much to make it not as good. Like I'll be like
too far.
Yeah, I'll be like, I should have ended it a while ago. Why did I add this part to it? And that's how I feel like I tell stories. So I'm just saying that to let you know that like. I'm just saying that so that you know.
Well, Z is referencing a sort of conversation had a couple of nights ago after I'd had some drinks, and I said I want to tell more personal stories on the podcast because I think you do a lot of it, and I think it's great, and I think it's like basically the only unique and interesting thing about the podcast. Basically, I didn't say that's not the language I used.
You did not use that
while
language.
Inebriated. I said it's like the engine of the podcast.
I know. I think no. You said that I was really good at it, and that you think that like people like it or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know if people like it. To me, I don't know what,
No, I know, yeah.
We get very little feedback from anyone,
Yeah.
so it's
Thanks,
hard
everyone.
to know. But thank you to those who do. But to me, yeah, that's the only thing that makes,
Mm-hmm. Something that, and I'm just getting real here. I know you really well. Saying that sounds
Can
like
you hear my eyes narrowing? Narrowing.
you said. So
Doesn't sound right.
I know. Saying narrowing, it's just that you're like, nope.
Yeah.
How else would you say it? Nope.
Not enough hard consonant sounds in that.
I think that like the more I get to know you, the more I know about you. I'm like, wow, you're an amazing person, and I really like you, and I really like knowing you. I know, gross. But like at the same time, I'm like, I want other people to know this about you, but I also do not want to be. It's not my responsibility to share that about you, and I think that would be really gross if I was like, you should like Keith because they're like this.
Oh, yeah.
That would be disgusting.
Nobody likes that partner.
Exactly. Right. So I try. Yeah, I'm like, oof. So I want you to share more stuff about yourself.
I think what they're trying to say. You know that thing that people do when a partner comes to.
Oh my God! Yes, like literally, if someone's on your shit on Facebook, I don't. I'm like, I know what you meant, but I'm not defending you because it looks a way that I'm uncomfortable with presenting.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not going to be like, oh, what they actually meant was no,
Mm-mm.
that's not.
Barf.
That's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. Also, I just hate that in general. When somebody does something and someone will be like, hey, this feels problematic. And someone else will be like, here's what I think they were trying to mean. And I'm like, okay. Unless it's like a celebrity or something. I mean, even so, like, unless it's a celebrity.
No, yeah, don't
it's
translate for the person.
Exactly.
If
they don't want to defend themselves, then that's fine.
Well, you also.
And if they're not,
I mean, both good and bad. You're taking away the opportunity for them to be accountable.
For them to be accountable, and also for them to fuck up worse. In the sense
That's
of
what
like,
I mean.
It's
a
like
two-sided thing.
Yeah.
Like both good and bad ways.
Yeah.
They're gonna dig themselves deeper, and then you see what they really like.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Or
yeah.
They come back with better language.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I think you're really good at. I think you're really good at like.
Well, thank you.
Like if you say something that people take, like, offensively. You do this great thing of like sitting with it for what you don't ever respond immediately like, oh yeah, well your dad's ugly. Like you're not like
I mean, I have done. That's why.
Well, yeah.
It's taking practice.
Right, of course. But this is something that like I get the best version of you because I get the you that's learned from all your past mistakes. So you sit with it for a while and you'll think about it and then you come up with like an actual response. And that's something that it's nice to see because I get to see. I mean, like, I think this is like one of those things where like when you have a partner and people are like, I don't really know what to think about your partner. Or like whatever. They're like, oh, I don't know anything about your partner. It's like sometimes I'm like, God, I wish you could. Because like I get to see all these like cool things that you do, these cool things that you share. Stupid asshole.
For instance.
So yeah, I wrote down a good year before the movie even started. It's a good joke. I love this joke. The Legend of Billie Jean.
So I encountered this is new to me, the term white habitus.
Oh, okay.
From watching a YouTuber called FT Signifier.
Okay.
I've only watched a few of their videos. They're really great video essays. I think this one came up in their video about Bo Burnham's Inside.
Okay, I was wondering if that's who it was.
Apparently the term was coined by Eduardo Bonilla Silva in his book Racism Without Racists.
Okay.
which FD signifier recommends highly if you're a white person wanting to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Not just, what's it called?
White fragility.
White fragility.
Yeah. So you want to talk about race, which is great, but very 101 stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Introduction.
Yeah.
Awesome. But if you don't do anything else,
that's not the.
it wrong.
Also, I think it was FD who, at the beginning, I feel like it was just a clip of him saying like, "Sorry, we're putting." Nobody's getting invited to the cookout. There's a moratorium since 2016. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to chill out, white people.
Needs to pause.
Yeah, basically it's the idea because of institutionalized segregational, even though overt segregation, right, is no longer a thing, we still have redlining and all the other things that mean white people. A lot of white people in the U.S. only encounter other white people in their day-to-day lives.
Right. Yeah.
And don't encounter people of color.
Yeah.
In any substantial way. So they're not exposed to any other culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you internalize is that that's just how the world is. It's just white.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up in regard to this movie because there's probably some some background
maybe
here or there, but boy, is this movie white.
Oh yeah, this movie is only white.
And especially interesting because it's in Texas, where there are certainly
there's a couple non-white folks there.
A few other communities.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's all. I just wanted to name that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, partly because it's it's nice to have a nice shorthand term for this concept.
Yeah. No, that's... Yeah, you were talking about it, and I'm like, oh, is he bringing it up because of how monochrome the movie was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very...
And I'll link to
awesome
that video.
Awesome.
It's a great video for lots of reasons. That's also the one where he talks about how there's no white youth culture that isn't just appropriating black culture.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment.
For sure. Yeah.
He's like, as recently as the 90s, there was grunge, it wasn't necessarily great or super.
Yeah. But even that, a lot of that was taken from like a lot of black artists started out.
Rock and roll. The idea of the American teenager basically came about because of rock and roll.
Right.
Which was
yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
So, yeah, it's not a new idea, obviously, but it's just continued to flatten.
Right. Yeah.
The invisibilization of
I think
whiteness.
And I think it's especially interesting now because there's now things like digital blackface.
Correct. Right.
And so there's new ways to do it where people are like, oh, it's a completely different thing. Like, oh, we're not stealing it. We're appreciating it, but it's like, no. Like, it's still digital. It's like digital blackface is still taking something that doesn't belong to you and using it as your own. Like,
right.
What do you think that is? Like, what, think about it. Just think about some things before you do them. Think about it. I think this is a thing where I really...
The more you think.
Right, but that's it. Like, if you do something, it's...
Say something.
No, but it's that thing where if you're doing something and you're ignorant about it, that's one, there's tons of things that I've done and I've been totally ignorant about it. Someone says something, and if I have an initial reaction of oh, I don't like that, I'm like, oh, why don't you like that?
Yeah.
Think about why you don't like that. And then I'll think about it and I'll sit with it.
Number one lesson for white people to do.
Yeah. Seriously. And it's just
if it makes you uncomfortable.
Sit with that.
Figure out why.
Right. Yeah, I had an agent, and my sister went to Barbizon.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she graduated Barbizon. Yeah. Yep.
Forgot about Barbizon.
Yeah, and it was this whole thing, and like, yeah, she graduated Barbizon, and when you graduate Barbizon, you get an agent. But
Okay.
when when they gave her an agent, they saw me and they were like, "You're in too, kid." I didn't even have to go to school.
Oh, okay. Bonus.
They were just like, absolutely. But like,
Wow.
yeah. But it was one of those things where like, yeah. I mean, like we never got any calls or anything like that. We had to like pay for photos and like do all this stuff. I mean, like we took photos and they were absolutely terrible. They were absolutely fucking terrible. Because like the guy was like trying to tell me how to like model and I didn't understand what he was saying, and he told me to like, I think he wanted me to do.
How old were you?
I was 11.
Okay.
And I think he wanted me to like, you know, like the where you put one hand on your hip and then you drop the hip on the other side. He was trying to tell me how to do that, but I don't think he knew how. So he literally told me to turn my foot inward and like move my knee, and he was doing, and I was like doing it, and he just was like, "Yeah, hold it right there." And the photo came out, and I look like I'm making fun of someone with a disability. Like it truly looks horrible. And I was like, "Why did he tell me to stand that way? It doesn't look good." Like he could see it. It doesn't look good. I mean, there were other photos.
That's how portrait photography always felt like to me.
Because I was like, what am I not? Position. Yeah, it was literally. Hang on, it's gonna get quiet for a second because I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna show Keith, and then none of you will see it.
Okay, so they're standing up right now. No, that's not a thing.
I'm serious. Yeah.
Look like you're about to fall on your face.
I literally was like, it hurt.
I bet. It hurt to
and he
see.
Was just like and then I was like 11, and you know, hi, I'm Z, I'm, you know, getting tested for autism. Again, I bring it up. But I was like, maybe I'm not hearing him the right way. I was like, maybe I'm confused by what he's saying. And then the pictures came out, and I was like, I obviously didn't understand. I was like, it's very clear that he did not want me to. I like understood. I was like, there's no way that he wanted me to stand this way. There's just no way. I'm like, but why didn't he tell me I was doing it wrong? Yeah. Why did he just say, yeah, whatever, that works. Take the photo. Anyway, then like 2 or 3 years later, I had more photos taken by another photographer. And he was great. And he had like a professional makeup artist. Ooh. And she like did my hair, and she did all this, and they were really cool, and I think possibly queer. You know. And it was like the late 90s, you know, so it was like and it was a really nice experience, and it wasn't terrible, and all my poses, I was like, oh, I look natural. I look like a human being, but again, nothing ever came out of it. I got one call to audition for a Skechers commercial. Oh. And they were like, you have to bring
your own Skechers.
They were like, you have to wear sneakers, and you have to like come and wear sneakers basically to see how you looked in them. It wasn't like you have to wear Skechers sneakers, but they just wanted you to come wearing sneakers to see how you looked in them. And I was like, I'm poor and I don't have any.
Right.
So I couldn't. I was like, oh
man.
Yeah. And I got really upset. I was like very upset about it. So, because it was my one call, like the one call I ever got, and nothing ever came. That's exactly. But look at how great my life has turned out.
You got blacklisted after that.
Right.
Not unlike Walter Bernstein, who wrote the screenplay, the original screenplay that The Legend of Billie Jean was based upon.
What?
He's uncredited because there were so many rights.
Yeah, that's hard to say.
Henry.
It's like
Winkler.
we whites. There were so many we whites, and then you're like, I'm not making. I hate when I accidentally, when I'm trying to say it, you know, the way, I don't know how to say it to where it doesn't sound ableist, the right way, you know, when I'm trying to like pronounce it, and I I'm like, we whites, and then I'm like, I'm not making fun of anyone. I swear to God. It's just
Oh, I know.
the way. I swear to God. My mouth just did that. I always, even if it's just you and me, I'm like, oh.
Well, as you love to point out, or have, you don't have to anymore, but anytime I do any kind of attempt to do any
True.
kind of voice,
Yeah.
any kind of character or something, I end up sounding like I'm mocking a hearing impaired person.
Yes. Or you sound like you are, you sound like you're either mocking a deaf person or you are making fun of like someone with an Asian accent, like you're trying to do a Chinese accent.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I mean, it's once taken it like it used to be I would be like, what are you doing? And you're like a French accent, and I'm like, what? That is not how what? And then anytime you've also, it doesn't happen as much anymore. Now you just sound like you're trying to do like most of every impression that you do now just sounds like you're trying to do Josh Thomas.
Well, look, because that voice
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
was already his voice, and the voice I do trying to impersonate him is already things I did to be able to do anything with any UK accent. I would already get very nasally. I always have to put it up here. I feel trapped like a moth in a bath.
I fucking love that.
You're making it go back in.
I've got a ruddy gun.
Like, honestly, Moss is the only good, like, Richard Ayoade. Surprise is the only thing that, like, holds up in that whole show.
Well, I don't know.
Like,
That's
you
fair.
can, I mean, but, like, I feel like Moss's representation is the least offensive out of
The least
anyone.
problematic.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, all of his problems, all the things that he does. Yeah. Like, when he's, like, Masijos, and he's, like, like...
I always think of, I've told you this, I always think of that Korean place down by where Marathon used to practice.
Yeah.
Because
That grill place or whatever.
yeah,
Magista or something. I don't fucking
right.
know. I don't know.
Because
what
I
it's called.
remember, like, I've only been there twice, and it was like when they first opened.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah. And I think somebody I was with asked how to say the name or whatever, and they said, "Oh, it's this." I don't know why they spelled it like that. So it doesn't even like.
Oh no!
I'm like, okay, you
Just
ordered
call
the
it-
sign, sign presumably. Like, I don't know. It was really weird the couple times I went in. Also, the person who was presumably one of the proprietors, was like trying to talk us out of everything we ordered. That thing. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I went there with, never mind.
Just names that aren't what they whatever. It's just I know that it's not the same thing, but it reminds me of this story of my grandpa mispronouncing what is it, Kawasaki?
Uh-huh.
He called it Kowalski.
Oh, God.
He was
And
like,
that
"Oh,
reminds-
that Kowalski motorcycle looks nice, like Kowalski." And my mom was like, because notoriously, like, there was like a woman riding it, and he was trying, like, he thought she was cute, and he was just like flirting, and he was trying to look cool, so we just kept talking about Kowalski motorcycle, and they were just like, "Oh, you look so stupid." It's funny.
I had this, when I worked at a Jamba Juice, and a boss whose last name was some Polish sounding name like that, that ended in a ski, like Kowalski or whatever. And then there's this Asian dude started working, Tony Chin. He was hilarious. He fucking slayed me every time we worked together.
Yeah.
He's the one I tell you this story, like, he had like come from class.
Yeah.
And he was like, I fell asleep in class, and I woke up. I had fallen asleep on my pen, and he lifted up his hat, and there was this scribble on the side of his head because it was like shaven, you know.
Oh my God.
It was Tony Chin. And he was like, "Oh, she's Asian. She's got an Asian last name."
That's funny.
She was white.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we should probably talk about the movie. It's been like an hour and 2 days or something. We had to take a 48-hour break just to
48-hour break.
No, we paused for 24 hours to get our shit together.
Yeah, and I had to watch St. Joan.
Did you really?
No, I wish.
It's your fault. You're the one that napped. You could have been watching a really interesting film about Joan of Arc.
Wow.
Joan of Arc. You know what I've been doing? Drawing.
Yeah, I do know. It's great.
Thank you.
I've been raising fake dinosaurs. Some words.
Raising fake dinosaurs.
I'm glad I did my vocal warm-ups.
I don't know. Yesterday after we had our conversation about masculinizing my voice without testosterone.
Oh yeah.
I watched a video about it, and I was like, "Oh God!" So because it's just all about like opening the back of your throat up to let, and I'm like, and they're like, "You'll be doing this all the time," and I'm like, "But."
That was most.
And every time I tried, I was just like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm
No,
like,
that was
"Oh."
most of what I got from voice lessons.
Yeah, opening your throat.
She was always telling me to do that, and she was like, "Act like you're going to yawn."
Yeah, it's horrible. But I'm someone that like it takes someone. All someone has to do is be like yawn, and I'm like, so I'm like, oh God, this is torture. Look, I want.
Singing also.
Yeah.
So.
I noticed that, and because that's what they were doing. They were like
singing.
Yeah, they were like just sing. They were like be like ooh, but they kept going. They were like go deep, ooh, now go deeper, and I was like, I was like, wait,
Yeah, I know that doesn't help.
I don't know how to do that. I have a high voice.
Yeah, it's also not.
Yeah.
You're not describing it in any
I know.
new way than language
Right,
I already
like,
had. Okay, I'll just talk lower.
Yeah. Right, I'm like, okay.
Oh, you mean I should talk lower?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's more about, I guess for me, I'm like, oh, okay, I just have to get into the habit of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the problem lies, because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but all my funny voices are high pitched.
That's okay. You can still do that.
I know.
Josh Thomas? Well, that's not fair, is it?
I wish I could do his voice, because he's like got a high pitched guy voice, and I can't really do high pitched guy voices.
Well, yeah, because your range is
Yeah, my
above
range is
that.
already high pitched, so I have to go lower, which doesn't work to get
Yep.
high, and so
Yeah, I'm familiar.
yeah.
I can't do, quote, female
Yeah.
voices.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be doing it all the time.
I bet you would, you freak.
When's the manicure? See what happened?
Was that your Jennifer Tilly?
That was what it was supposed to be. This is about Boba tea.
That's what.
That was the boba tea. Okay, anyway, so Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah.
We got Yeardley Smith.
Yep. Is
20
it
years-
Yardley or Yeardley?
Yardley, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
20 years old playing a 14-year-old.
Yep.
Which I don't feel like it's clearly stated how old anybody is, really.
No, that's something I always hate about movies with teenagers is it's always like you're young, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but
I'm sure the script
Being-
says, but like if
Right.
it's not in the dialogue, how the fuck am I
Right.
supposed to know?
I'm like, unless you're actively stating it, I'm just assuming everyone is like 16.
Right. Helen Slater is the titular Billie Jean. Her young brother, Christian Slater. No relation. What's his name? Like Binks?
Yeah, I know. The whole time I'm like, what the? Like, there was, like, not a single point. I would hear it, and I'd be like, oh, it's Binks. And then they would be like, Binks. And I'm like, are they saying Banks? Like, I would never was convinced that I
Banksy.
was hearing it right.
Yeah.
But also I was like, no, that's not a name. Binks. I'm
And
like,
then
what
what's
is
the
he, a
bully kid's
pacifier?
name? The bully kid's name is like Hoopty.
Halford? Or Howler?
No, it's like
Howler?
Hobie.
Hobie.
Hoobie.
Hubie.
Hubie. That's what it is. It's Hubie. We got there. Hovercraft.
His name is Heidi. Hey.
Oh, wow. God damn. You're slaying me with the oldies.
Like, here's the thing, though. Like, I don't always enjoy them to, like, just, like, chill and listen to.
Oh, right. And Yearly Smith's name is Putter.
I know. I'm like, what?
What are these nicknames?
But, like, I grew up, like, my grandma had an old 45 collection, and during the summer,
Right.
we weren't allowed
Since
to
there was
watch.
no television
We were
allowed.
not allowed to watch television, so my grandma would mute the TV, and then we would, because she thought she said it was bad for the TV to turn it off and on too much,
That's how they get you.
and so she would mute the TV so that she wouldn't have to turn it off and ruin the TV, and then we would play. Old
It is hard
45s.
on the vacuum tubes.
Yeah. It's hard to do it two more times a week. Because we go over there once a week. So
Oh.
if she turned it off when we got there and then turned it on, that's just two more times a week.
I see. Yeah.
She had it set to a timer. So she had it set to a timer so the TV would turn on automatically in the morning and turn off at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she never.
One of those things you plug into the wall that has the dials.
Yeah, I think so.
I love those.
Yeah.
I was wanting to construct a installation around those.
Ooh, that's nice. That's
I've had
exciting.
that idea for 20 years.
One day.
How it's going. What?
How it's going.
How's it going?
It's what it's.
Are they or won't they? Okay, so anyway,
I don't know why I liked this movie. This
No,
was
I
a
know. Why
lot
is
of
it so hard
fun.
to talk
And
about?
It's just like talking about it. It's like, okay, but I'd rather talk about anything else. Like, it was fun. I liked it. I actually thought it had, I mean, other than being completely white, which, you know, as we
Right.
discussed, but like it like, I don't know, like I feel like it was really interesting in regards to like it said stuff about class, it said
yeah.
stuff about like sexism, and it like he said she said shit going on, like there's
Yes.
all kinds of shit
Yes,
happening,
and media and fame and
Yes.
celebrity and how that happens.
Yeah, man, this was a fuck. I was like watching
It
and
really
I was
does
like,
a lot. It feels very simple,
yeah,
and then it's definitely like a romanticization.
right, for sure. I mean,
of-
it's a movie, so yeah,
Right. But there's some hard shit in it.
yeah.
I mean, like, a couple people get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Jean gets shot at.
Yeah.
That
She gets would you call it assault, or would you say almost assaulted? I don't know.
which part?
The beginning.
The initial? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's call that an assault.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah.
It's one of those. It's like, he's
to get away
he's
from.
trying to do more,
yeah.
but
He's trying. Yeah. He's to get away from him. He's like physically pawing at her, and
Mhm.
she can't. But yeah, that I was like, what? I'm like, this is 1985. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not shocked that a movie from the 80s did something like that, but like a teen movie from the 80s did that. I'm
Right.
Like, whoa. That's pretty.
so yeah. It's summer in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
It's hot as balls. Billie
You can
Jean.
tell by how wet and glistening everyone is.
Billie Jean and Binks head down to the river, lake, or whatever because it's hot as balls. He's got a brand new scooter that he bought with money from a grandparent that died. Is that what it is?
Is it his dad, I think?
Okay. It's his pride and joy.
Yeah.
A brand new Honda Elite. Which, let me tell you, in the 80s,
Yeah.
Honda had a scooter game nobody else could touch.
Nice.
I really wanted one.
Aw.
They had ones that were bigger and longer that were freeway legal somehow. Anyway. So they get bullied and kid steals his scooter.
Well, they're on their way to the like these fucking asshole preppy rich kids are like chasing them down in a car and taking their picture. It's so weird.
Yeah, this one dude always has a camera and always taking pictures, which never comes up except for the picture of her coming out of the lake that they didn't post in the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hubie's dad's store.
Yeah. And
The guy who.
Yeah.
But that's the only like.
Right. I think So.
Also, none of his friends ever show up again or like have lines or anything.
I think they do. Anyway. So they're like harassing them and they get a milkshake and so Binks throws it in the guy's face and then
clearly not strawberry.
Then right. They thought it was strawberry. It was clearly not. So they chase them down to like the lake or whatever where they're like, swimming. And then they steal his motorcycle, his scooter, whatever the fuck. And like I think it's something that's like really like he's really, really, really upset about it. And he's like, I have to get it back. Like this is all I have. Like I have to get it back.
Oh, also this asshole is like harassing Billie Jean.
Right. And this is something that I was like, this is so like subtle, but also like important. Every single person that sees her remarks on how attractive she is. They're like, you're an attractive person, so XYZ.
Yeah.
You're a pretty girl, so XYZ. And
so do yourself a pretty girl favor.
Yeah. It's really. And I was like, oh my God, like everyone kept being like, well, this is, you're pretty. So that's why these things are happening to you. Like you're pretty. So that's why guys are like trying to get your attention. You're pretty. So that's why, guys are harassing you. You're
pretty. So you can't be poor. You can't be from the trailer park.
Yeah. So anyway, her brother's really upset. And so she goes to
the police.
Well, yeah, but he disappears. Like, he runs away.
Binks, you mean?
So, yeah, Binks runs away.
Get my bike back.
Hey, come back here. Binks! Oh, come back here!
So she goes to the police, and she's like...
By the way, everyone's doing horrible attempts at a Southern accent. First of all, a Southern accent, not a Texas accent, which I'm not saying isn't Southern, but Texas has plenty of its distinct accents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody's doing.
Yeah, nobody's doing it right. So when they go to the police is Peter Coyote.
Get the fucker.
Yeah, like I feel like my throat is just raw from the So she's like trying to file a report and he's just like, you need to give it time or whatever. And he's like, you're a pretty girl. But he says this thing where
he was probably doing it just to try to get your attention.
Yeah. Putter? Yeah. He's like, why would that guy? Why would he? Like, what reason would he have to do this?
Hubie won't bring it back.
How do you know?
'Cause he's a fucker, that's how I know.
She always talks like that.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Here's my card. If that Honda's not back on your front lawn in 2 days, you give me a call.
We live in Breeze Haven.
All right. Front of your trailer, then. Give me a call. We'll, drag in the fucker.
I wrote down, I was like, can I get that as a ringtone? Like, I just want Peter Coyote being like, we'll drag in that fucker. He's got such a hot voice. I think Peter Coyote is really fucking hot. You'll be surprised to know. I'm solely attracted to regarding cis men. I'm solely attracted to cis men with deep voices, big noses.
Fucked up teeth.
Yeah, if there's some fucked up teeth, then it's a bonus. But I want you to have a large nose, a large and pointy nose.
Large and pointy. I
Yeah,
can't
I
even
don't know.
visualize that.
I don't know. Like, I just like think of Christopher Eccleston. He's got like I should say angular. You know, very angular, big nose.
Like a.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of have that going on.
No, don't.
I said kind of, and yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
I'm not insinuating that you're a cis man.
Or that I'm attractive. Or that you're attracted to me.
I know that part.
Anyway, Hubie beats the shit out of Binks.
Yeah. Sorry.
And,
I was trying to remember where I was. I was looking at my notes. Yeah, she gets home and
Billie Jean gets home, and sees the scooter
trashed.
there, but trashed. Like the wheels taken off, the seat ripped out, and lights, like mirror broken off and shit like that. She goes inside and Binks is like bloodied.
Like fucking, like fucked up though. Like it's not like he's got a bloody nose. He's like beat to shit.
Yeah. And he's like, I got my scooter back.
Yeah.
Next day they go to confront Hubie. Well, first she just the amount of
Well, she gives Hubie the bill, and
Right.
she's like, "You need
she's
to."
like $608.
She's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be $608. You need to pay for the scooter." And she's like, "That's for the scooter." And then she's like, "And this is for my brother." And she knees him in the balls. And let me tell you,
This is only the first. Of
yeah, that's her. I mean, it's honestly when I was a kid,
beautiful.
my mom was telling me. My mom said that. My mom was trying to tell me like about stranger danger. And she's like, and I was like, Mom, I'll just knee him in the balls.
I got covered.
I was like, I'll knee him in the balls. And she's like, okay, if that doesn't work. And I was like, Mom, I will kick them in the balls.
Foolproof.
Yeah, and she just,
Watertight.
like, I was like literally like 3 years old, and she's like, we need to just have a discussion about it. And I was like, why? I will kick them in the balls.
In the balls.
And I was just like very insistent. She was like, okay, I need to tell you other things if that doesn't work. And I was like, what
No.
isn't gonna work about me kicking them in the balls, Mom? I'm 3. I know how to take care of myself. Like, I was like very insistent that I was like, no, it's fine. I will kick them in the balls.
Checked and everything's fine. Looks good.
I don't remember where we were in this.
Well,
yeah. She knees him in the balls, whatever. And then his dad comes in, and he literally sees Hubie or Hubers on the floor, and he's like, get up off the floor.
What are you doing down there?
Oh, this is embarrassment, And then she's like, yeah, he trashed my brother's, shit. And he's like, all right, yeah, well, I'll take care of this. And he takes her upstairs, and he gives her $50. And he says, we're going to come up with an arrangement. And, you're going to give me some special stuff, and I'm going to give you money each week, which I'm like, wow, because she's like a teenager, she's a kid.
Yeah.
And
Gross.
yeah, I mean, it's gross, but also that's not, that's technically not consent. If you have to coerce someone, then it's technically.
Also a child.
Yes, right. But that's what I'm saying. Like that aside.
Yeah.
It's still you can't.
No. It's extortion.
Yeah, it's not something. Anyway,
for it to be blackmail, I think it would have to be a formalized letter.
Okay. So
she gets away.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, yeah, and but Binks comes inside and he's like,
because Binks and oh god, what's the other girl's name? Ophelia. Yes.
She's so fucking hot. Why is she so fucking hot?
Because she was like 30 when they were
yeah,
making this.
and she had big titties, and she's like 30. She looked like
she kind of looks like Linda Hamilton to me.
Interesting. I was like, this bitch was in Practical Magic, and you were like, oh hey, she was in Practical Magic. I was like, yes, and she has just such a small role. Like she's just one of the town mothers that judges. Yeah. Anyway,
they bust in, and
yeah,
the till is open because dude was like, "Oh, I don't have enough money right here to give you. I don't have to keep $600 in the cash register, so we got to go upstairs." But it's open, and Binks clocks that there's a fucking revolver in it.
Yeah, and he grabs it and he's fucking around.
He's like,
with
"Check
it.
this out." And then they come downstairs because dude is chasing Billie Jean.
Right, Billie Jean's literally running, and he's like pawing at her and trying to like pull her, and she's like, like her, like he's like, I think he's like pulled her shirt off, not her shirt off, but she has like an overshirt.
Right.
He's like pulled that partially off, and like she's very much in distress, and it's very obvious what's going on.
So Binks basically just is like
Yeah.
points the gun
Yeah.
at him.
And it goes off because he's stupid, and he's like, "Oh, the safety's on." He's like, "Oh shit."
No. He's
Oh.
like, it's not even loaded.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
that's
like
right.
coming closer to him, and
Right, and it goes off because which is so stupid to say to somebody, like, "Oh, it's not loaded," then they're not going to be as careful with it. Like, that's not what you say to someone.
I mean, it might work with an adult.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It almost works, right? But
Right.
instead, dude gets shot. They all freak out. I love this. This is my favorite part of the premise of the movie, is that their instinct is we just got to go on the lam.
Yeah. Right. But I will say this, when I was a kid, that was romanticized so much in my mind. Just like running away from home.
Yeah.
And not only partially because one of my siblings actually did that.
Oh, only partially.
Only partially. But it was like, I was like, oh, it is possible. You can do that. Like, that's when it became a reality for me, is when they actually ran away from home. And they never came back. Like, they ran away from home and they never came back.
Oh, well.
It was not great circumstances, but
Well,
like
right.
they were 17, so like they ran
Unlike
away
in this movie where it is ideal circumstances.
No. What I mean is like,
No, I know.
yeah, whatever. But yeah.
But basically, that's the rest of the movie, is them trying to evade/negotiate with police.
Yeah. Which I think is interesting because like they're contacting the police and they're like,
Yeah.
like, what do we do? Like, and they're like,
I mean, this is where the whiteness is very,
oh yeah,
for sure. Right,
for
like
sure,
permeates the white habitus, because like
right.
the relationship to the police is.
Oh yeah. Well, also, mostly it's interesting because it's like, it's less about. I'm more talking about it in the world of the movie. Like in reality, even if like a white teenager did this stuff and was like, I don't think this would be like something that would actually, like, they wouldn't contact the police or whatever. But I think the framing of the movie is trying to show you how they're so innocent, they don't even fucking know that they might, what their consequences might be, or like they have no comprehension of like the lies that are being told about it and like all this stuff, and like people are making up stories that they got robbed and like all this stuff, and they're just like
Yeah, there's a real, like
there. It seems like there's an idealism in there, I guess, of them being like, if we tell the truth, we'll get listened to,
right.
Which is like a young thing. But I think in the context of this movie, it's like, I think it's somewhat important because it's not just showing careless white kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're actually concerned about people. They're worried about things. So it's like it's less about, like, I understand, like, it's very complex.
Sure.
But like it's not them just being like, oh, they're good kids at heart. It's like no one thinks they're good kids, and they're fighting for that themselves, And that was like an interesting. I think it was like, despite the fact that they're like working with the police and like ACAB and all that shit, but like, it was just like, I feel like the way it was portrayed was different than I feel like I've seen.
Yeah.
With stuff like that,
Yes.
And like there's.
Well,
I don't think this is. There's like good cops and like bad cops, sort of. I mean, there's like
in the movie.
There's like a cop that like is like Peter Coyote is like, okay, I hear you and I believe you. And then it's interesting because like they get bought off. Like there are like cops there or whatever, state troopers or something that end up shooting them. Like that's how Binks gets shot, is like a cop that's paid off shoots him.
He's called in by the DA, played by Deanie Beanie Stockwell, R.I.P.
Yeah. But, like, that, too, is, like, a really interesting thing where, like,
Yes.
one person inside, and it's, like, it's also, like, not totally inaccurate that, like, one person inside a system is trying to get this thing and is, like, not getting it. Like,
Right.
it's like, no, it's okay. You know, like, he's like, I'm ordering you not to do anything. And they're like, la, 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 la. We can't hear you. We don't care. So, like, a lot of it is, like, even though, you know, I totally agree. Like, what is it? The white habitus? Absolutely. Like, yeah. Not arguing that it's a completely white and, like, sort of sterilized film.
Yeah.
But there are complexities within it that I think make it more interesting than just like a bunch of white kids doing a crime. You know, there's like all.
I mean, and there's clearly, you know, it clearly is making the distinction between law versus justice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
right.
And like Billie Jean clearly insists on like a moral code for her group of folks because
fair is fair.
Yeah, fair is fair. You know, like in theory, all they really want is for Vince's scooter to get fixed.
Yeah, and she's literally like, "This is how much it'll cost, and that's all we want."
Right. And you know, there's a couple of times where there's the first time where it looks like dude's gonna pay it, but he does a double cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, but I want to. Like she keeps saying, no, we're not going to steal.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they just take food from stores and leave IOUs.
Right, I know.
So I'm like, okay, did you ever pay them back? That's
right.
not actually.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. But then their notoriety builds.
Yeah.
In their favor. People are like, fuck yeah, you're fighting the system or whatever.
Right.
And so people start giving them things.
Right.
And, you know, eventually it becomes like the more recognizable she and they get, like the more there's like other girls that start cutting their hair and looking like her. And so it's almost this Underground Railroad kind of shit happening. I mean,
I was going to say, well.
I know. Just like a network emerges. Because eventually she's like, gets her friends out. She turns her friends into the cops because she's worried about, you know. Anyway.
Well, I think
I don't think we need to go.
Yeah.
Plot point.
Well, I think also an interesting thing is like they get notoriety and then people start profiting off, like the people that hurt her start profiting off of her.
Yes.
And it's like, and
that is done so well.
Oh my God.
It's so perfect and accurate.
I mean, like, honestly, like it said, like, fucking, who is it, that sings the song that you like?
Pat Benatar?
Yes, Pat Benatar, like, fucking introduces the song that she sings in this as on the soundtrack for the worst movie ever made. And I'm like, absolutely not. This movie fucking slaps. Like, this movie is a fucking... This is a fucking movie. Like, I think this might be my favorite movie that we watched in January, honestly.
Sure.
Is, like, it's good. It's fucking good. And, like, it holds up.
Yeah.
It fucking holds up.
I agree.
And, like, yeah. Like, and of course, there's some, like, fucking queer undertones here.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I do want to say, though, I forgot to mention this before, Hubie's dad, it looks like they asked Stacy Keach to be in it and he said no, and they were like, who can we get that looks just like Stacy Keach? But I was like I knew this guy was going to be a fucking asshole because when he's giving her the money, oh my God, his money is wadded up so janky and it's so fucking disgusting and it's just like crumpled up and he just is like giving her money, but it's like,
really?
Oh, God, it was horrible, and I was, like, enraged looking at it. You know that I worked at a bank. I am so fucking pissy and shitty about money being... I swear to God, this is the person that I am. It has to be facing, and it has to be, like, Yeah, it has to be like
That's-
ordered, facing, and like all that shit. I'm like, no, we're not gonna fuck
That's
around.
just how civilized people behave.
When we were first together, you used to put money in your pocket, and I was like, we might have to break up. Because you'd put it in your pocket and you'd bring it out and it would just be crumpled, and I'd be like, I can't.
Yeah, but that's not how it is in my wallet.
I know. It's just it hurt my feelings.
Personal attack.
Yeah. I was like, why do you do that? And you'd be like, it's so tight, I can't get it in my pocket any other way. And I was like, don't put it in your pocket.
My tight,
It's so
skinny
tight. Oh my
jeans.
god. My pocket's tight.
I just really deal with cash
Yeah.
now. So
It's true.
anyway,
The first thing I do when I get money, I'm not kidding, is I face it. Like immediately I face it.
Uh-huh.
And like almost mindlessly.
Yeah.
And like
you
someone
put
will
it
be
in,
like, here's some money, and I'm like, okay, thanks, and I face it right in front of them, and I'm just like, oh god.
do you keep it in order, like
Yes.
by
Yes.
value?
Yes. It has to be like I keep it even like I don't know why it matters, but it's like if you were like the order isn't that important. This is the order I prefer, but if someone kept it in a different order, that's fine, but it needs to be ordered. I do like 20s and like 20s on the bottom and then like
In the back.
10s, 5s, 1s. Yeah. But like, but if you kept 20s on top or whatever, that's fine. Who gives a shit?
But if you fold it in half,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
goes on the outside?
The 20s. I don't know why. Anyway, Billie Jean is a good movie. You should watch it.
The weirdest part about it is Putter getting her period and asking when she gets a diaphragm, which is like the famous line from the movie, I guess.
Well, I don't know that it's the famous line from the movie.
Well,
but-
I saw
oh,
a thing
okay.
that was like, I want to watch this. We need to start watching commentaries, I think.
Ugh.
I know. I feel mixed about it, too. I've never done it, but anytime I read about... Anyway. This got a Blu-ray release in 2008, I think it was.
Oh.
And commentary by Yardley Smith and Helen Slater.
Oh, wow.
And I guess on that commentary, Yardley Smith says people still come up to her and quoting that line.
When do I get my diaphragm?
Pretty great.
I
Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
From someone who's never watched The Simpsons.
Yeah, thanks. There's a Simpson Wave video that I love, and it starts with Lisa Simpson saying, "But I don't feel like smiling."
Yeah.
And I like listen to that over. I've never seen The Simpsons, but Simpson Wave is one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
So
Go figure.
yeah,
You do the
whatever.
math.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, and now I totally forgot. There's a Wilhelm screaming it.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about Lloyd at all.
Yeah, he's not worth talking about.
Well, he's an important plot point.
He is, but I'm sad about it. I wish he wasn't in there.
He's kind of... Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but the scene where they're trying to film his hostage
Oh man, I love that.
is kind of great.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah,
That's kind of funny.
but her kissing him, I'm like, you're a non-binary lesbian. You can't. This doesn't make sense.
Not binary lesbian.
Oh yeah, Yardley Smith. That's what it was. So the person that played her mom said
Oh,
that
yes.
she actually slapped.
Correct. She didn't know it was an option not to.
Oh man, ow, that sucks. She said, "This is the thing." She said that, but at the end of the day, like Yardley Smith's face was numb.
Still numb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. When you I read that before that scene came on, and when that scene came on, I'm like, they don't show the slap. You
Sad.
see it from behind.
Yeah, I wonder if they did that on purpose because they knew it was real, and maybe they were like had to for ratings or something.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
no idea.
I mean, they adjusted it because it was rated R for all the cussing, so they had to.
Yeah, it said it got a PG-13, which
Yeah.
I didn't think existed in '85.
Yeah, you could get. Here's the thing you can say one fuck word, or two. Sorry, you can say up to 2 fuck words before it gets an R rating.
Okay.
Because it says fuck twice.
Uh-huh.
Peter Coyote says it one time. Hey, you're cute.
Let's not save it for not in front of the kids.
I was just looking at your face, and I was like, all right.
Yardley Smith did not cut her hair.
I know it was a wig, and the reason why her collars popped is to hide
Hide a
how
ponytail.
horrible it looked. Love
And
it.
there are, I'm sure you clocked this. I didn't because I'm mostly blind in this regard. But Helen Slater's wearing a wig
Yep.
sometimes because they did reshoots.
Yeah. The scene where this is the thing that I was like, the scene where his whole place gets lit on fire, like at the end,
Oh,
when
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
effigy gets lit ablaze. She was wearing a wig like on and off during that. So I'm like, what?
I thought she's supposed to be wearing a wig. I mean, isn't Billie Jean supposed to be the character? Because it's that curly ass wig.
No. What?
Yeah.
No, she's not
At
wearing
the
that.
end.
Yeah, at the end she wears that wig and then she takes it off.
Oh, okay.
And then she's talking it, and then his shit gets lit on fire or whatever, and she's like hollering at him or whatever. But like she's wearing a wig while she's doing her speech to him, but like the rest of the time she's not. And I was like, what? What? Like,
Is it a short wig?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. You can tell because she has a pretty prominent like cowlick. So, and this is always a thing where,
Yeah.
like, I clock wigs like no one else. Like, if you have this is why, like, if you have a good wig, I'm like, all right, that's a good wig. Like, kudos to you. It's a good wig. Like, but even so, I can clock a wig. Especially if you try to do reshoots. No,
Oh yeah.
it takes me completely
Giveaway.
out of it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just like, I can't do it. Especially if it's short hair. You're never going to do it. You're never going to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, short hair wigs are.
The worst.
Yeah. I appreciated. First of all, I read that like no sets were built.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much, like all the, like, they were all real locations.
Yeah.
I don't know if no sets were built. It just said
yeah.
that like the abandoned mini golf place was a real place.
Yeah.
I love that there's so many shots. Usually it's like wherever they're spending the night under overpasses and bridges and
Yeah.
shit. It really captures something very
Yeah.
American, for better and worse.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that. And presumably, like, it's a road movie in a lot of ways. They never leave Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. And they like barely leave like their county even.
Right.
For like.
Oh, Helen Slater and Yeardley Smith are both in City Slickers,
What?
apparently.
Whoa.
And I think Helen Slater worked with the guy that plays the abusive dad of the kid that Billie Jean rescues
Oh yeah.
in some other movie. Some other move.
The guy from Jag.
Okay.
That's where what I know him from.
The guy from Jag. Is he the Jag?
He's the.
Oh,
Jag.
you missed that.
You mean Jag? Oh, I missed that. You mean barista?
Shout out to Ron Cooley.
Yeah. I mean, it's my response to
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Shout out to Z's response to Ron Cooley.
Because of that dude. I don't remember who the dude is. This is my favorite part. The guy said his wife was too nervous to order coffee because she didn't know how to gender the fucking barista.
Yeah, here's
And then he
Here's what
said
you do.
she's
Don't.
walking on eggshelves. Yes.
well, that
Shelves.
was probably just autocorrect or something.
Everyone was like, eggshelves? And they're just like, oh. I was saying this on stream.
A pedestal.
I was saying this on stream because I have a Twitch channel that you can watch me hang out on. Twitch.tv/ZMacabre. Come hang out with me every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5 p.m. I'm thinking about going early. I'm thinking about starting earlier, but whatever. Right now it's 5 p.m. Guaranteed 5 p.m. You'll see
So
me.
by the time this comes out, it'll
Yeah.
be different.
No, but I mean, like, if you show up at 5 p.m., it's guaranteed. Anyway, whatever.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I was talking about how, like, I recognize that grammar is, like, classist and racist, and it's built on all of these things. I was like, but if you come in and you're racist or transphobic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and
You definitely-
you misspell something, I'm like, hey, you fucking idiot.
You definitely deserve to get clowned on for your
You
typos
dumbass,
or whatever.
it's the wrong your, you know. Eggshells, you
A dead
fucking
squid.
pedal stool. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. It's a good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, and check out Over the Edge, as previously mentioned. Another kids uprising movie.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend.
I guess we won't.
Would you recommend this movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same.
I love the song Invincible by Pat Benatar.
I am not Menminar. This has Rebel Yell in it. I was like, whoa.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I even looked it up because I was like, wait. Is this? I'm like, what? And I was like, I know it's Rebel.
7-Eleven.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't realize Rebel Yell.
There are quite a few on-foot chase scenes where no one's really running very quickly.
Yeah. Remember the part where we had to rewind because I thought Peter Coyote's dick was halfway to his knee?
And also remember when somebody pulls the dumpster in front of, and then there's some great.
Oh, there's some
really
editing,
harsh edits in this. Keep an eye out for those. Those are really...
I love that shit so much.
I know. Checking my notes. Oh yeah, when they stumble on Lloyd's house.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd, by the way, ends up being the son of the DA. What?
Come on,
buddy. Instead of kneeing him in the nuts, she grabs a guitar.
Yeah, and hits him.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Metaphor ever.
Talk about a rebel yell.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
At one point, they're having a heart-to-heart, Billie Jean and Lloyd, and she says,
Nothing makes sense. Everything's crazy now.
Sure it is. That's why you gotta be crazier than they are.
I love that. Anyway.
I don't remember that part. Yeah.
Christian Slater cross-dresses.
Yeah.
And gets shot for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Metaphors.
Anyway, yeah, I'm surprised. This movie, I don't hear anybody talk about this movie.
I know. It's really good.
Yeah. It was one that I always saw at the video rental store.
It's one I saw it on TV. It's just like I don't think I saw the whole thing, but I watched it and it was.
I don't really get. It's very. I mean, maybe it's not 80s enough for being a teen movie. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because it's about poorer kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. It should be in the canon.
Yeah, for sure.
For some things, anyway.
Yeah. It was good. It said some things for being like a bunch of kids on the bucking authority. Like it said a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Coyote, Dean Stockwell, Yardley Smith, the Slaters.
Mm-hmm. The Slaters.
I got the guy who plays the villain. I say his name. Richard Bradford.
Wow.
Anyway, that's Billie Jean. We did a whole sign off and wasn't recording.
We're not recording.
It's gonna be super fun to edit.
I'm so sorry. I like how we ended with me like laughing at you farting, and then it's gonna come back to me laughing, and it's just gonna be like, ha!
Yeah, that's how I'll do it. Thank you.
Please.
Credit to my skills.
I'm saying the sound, you dumbass. Like it cut.
Oh, the sound.
Stupid ass.
Anyway, this movie was pretty great. You should watch it.
You should watch it. Ophelia is the hottest, and then Peter Coyote. That's what I said. And then you should stay tuned. We do new episodes every Saturday.
Yes.
Early access though.
Twice on Sunday.
Twice. No, but if you're a patron, you get early access to the podcast.
Sort of. But you do definitely get the Dishonorable Unmentionable
you get the Dishonorable Unmentionable
every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Please come again.
Please come again.
Truth. Justice. And she won. She beat the English. And then
Then what?
the French burned her alive.